Shalom, shalom. This video is about the Gospel of John chapter 10 verse 22 to 30, and it's about the Pharisees' prayer for the Messiah to be revealed. I'll read the text and we'll briefly talk about it. Then came Chanukkah. It was winter in Jerusalem, and Yeshua was walking in the temple around Solomon's colonnade. Then the Judean leaders surrounded him, saying, "How long will you hold us in suspense? If you are the Messiah, tell us outright." Yeshua answered them, "I told you, but you don't believe. The works I do in my Father's name testify concerning me, but you don't believe, because you are not my sheep. My sheep hear my voice, I know them and they follow me. I give them eternal life, they will never perish, no one will snatch them out of my hand. The Father who has given them to me is greater than all, and no one is able to snatch them out of the Father's hand. I and the Father are one." So Chanukkah, the festival of Chanukkah, starts on the 25th day of the Hebrew month of Kislev. It's the 9th month on the Hebrew calendar, and it's 2 months or about 60 days after Sukkot, and normally ends on either the 2nd or 3rd day of Tevet, the month that follows, depending on whether Kislev is 29 or 30 days long in that particular year. On the Gregorian calendar, the dates for Chanukkah varies from mid-November to the end of December, depending on the start of the biblical year. And the biblical year, the Hebrew calendar year, starts on the new moon closest to the northern hemisphere spring season day-night equinox. Chanukkah is the festival of lights, also known as the Feast of Candles, or Kersfeest in Afrikaans. The Christian Christmas is a corruption of the biblical Chanukkah, and that should be clear to anybody who cares to look. Chanukkah also is the likely time of Yeshua's immaculate conception before he was likely born on the following Moed of Sukkot in the next year, the Feast of Booths, when he came to tabernacle with us. And nothing of Yeshua's birth has anything to do with 25 December. It's a pagan day. Yeshua walked the circa 160 kilometers of mountain passes between the Galilee and Jerusalem twice between Sukkot and Chanukkah, going home after Sukkot and then returning to Jerusalem for Chanukkah. So that tells us he wasn't there by accident, but by deliberation. He made the effort. He labored to be in Jerusalem for Chanukkah. The text finds Yeshua walking in King Solomon's portico, also known as the colonnade of the temple complex, with purpose, and it was on the outside of the Holy of Holies, literally on the other side of the Holy of Holies' outer wall, where the portico or the colonnade was, and that's where Yeshua was walking. It was the closest anyone but the serving high priest on Yom Kippur could come to the Holy of Holies. Today, in modern Israel, the Kotel or the Western Wall is the closest that Jews can come to where the Holy of Holies was in order to pray, and that's why they flock to the Western Wall. They doing exactly what Yeshua did in the biblical text here, going to Solomon's portico. Unfortunately now for them the closest they can get is the Western Wall. The Kotel now serves for what the portico cum the colonnade was in temple times. In the preceding verses, Yeshua explained that he is the Good Shepherd, and the lesson gives context to his answer to the Judean leaders in response to their prayer. And that prayer was, "How long will you hold us in suspense? If you are the Messiah, tell us outright." There's a whole lot of prophetic background to the prayer, which we need to understand in order to understand what's potting. The Son of David Messiah, which is one of two possible Messiahs, must re-establish King David's kingdom. In prophecy, the Son of David will unite the roles of king and priest. He will restore the order of Melchizedek, the king of righteousness, who was served and honored by Abram with a tithe and with a communal meal consisting of bread and wine. The Son of David, Messiah, will enter into the temple in a future temple's Holy of Holies to start his millennial reign, and he will do so on the 8th day of Chanukkah. That's the prophecy. Through their prayer, the Judean leaders were challenging Yeshua to enter into the Holy of Holies on this day, on Chanukkah. They knew that if he was not the Messiah, then Adonai will strike him down for such blatant transgression. And that if Yeshua indeed is the Messiah, his millennial reign would start the moment he entered, and the Romans will be defeated and expelled from the Holy Land. That is, the Romans, will then become part of Gog's hordes, who will die in the Megiddo Valley in Armageddon. Armageddon means Har Megiddo. Har is a mountain or an old pile, and the Megiddo Valley is just next to it. But Gog's hordes will die at the hand of the Messiah. That's the prophecy. And hence the prayer of the Judean leaders. How long will you hold us in suspense? If you are the Messiah, tell us outright, by going into the Holy of Holies and slaying the Romans. During his first coming, Yeshua fulfilled the alternative messianic role as the son of Joseph Messiah, the suffering servant who takes the sin of the world away. But when he returns, he will be the son of David Messiah, the conqueror, King of Kings Messiah, who will defeat the enemies. So we know that the suspense will last a little longer. We have so much to look forward to. This is not in the too distant future for us. I believe that we can expect to witness Yeshua's return within our generation's expected lifetime. The wayward church has long prepared the way for the man of Torahlessness by saying that Torah has been done away with. The man of Torahlessness, of course, is the Antichrist, and he has to come before Yeshua's return. And the church who preaches that Torah is done away with, they are preparing this Antichrist, the way for the Antichrist, by saying Torah is done away with. So it is wonderful to see how prophecy unfolds in our time. And we all have to pray that Adonai Eloheinu will bless us and keep us in the years that lies ahead. Shalom, shalom.